Facebook. This is Stephen. It is Friday, and today is, of course, Bridgetti and Steven in discussion. I've just heard from Bridgetti, and she's going to reboot her computer because something is making noise. So I've got a few moments to spend with you. If you're watching the replay, welcome. We're going to be discussing something which has just broken within the last hour. The news is broken, and I'm going to give Bridgetti a couple of seconds, to actually join us. If you want to join us, we'll say hello to BLIFbot in 5, whoever is operating BLIFbot in 5 today. I'm going to guess David. David, if you want to join us on camera, just type guest. Say hello to Corinda and to Fonz, and it could have well been Fonz who actually typed, and confirmation that Bridgetti will join me shortly. She's rebooting at the moment. And yeah, I think I've got an update going on my machine. I know something's downloaded. It's slowing things down. You can always tell when Microsoft are up to something. So yeah, I think in South Africa and in the UK, things are happening which are slowing our machines down, and we can't really have that. And confirmation that my guess was correct, and it was Fonz, who is both Fonz Chamberlain and BLIFbot.tv. Sorry, on BLIFbot in 5. If you want to join me on camera, just type guest, and our friendly BLIFbot will reach out to you. Good, it's Friday, and it's nearly going home time in the UK, but in the US you've got half a day to go. So we empathise with that. We've done our half day. We can now start relaxing for the weekend, and Bridgetti's 2 hours ahead of us, so she's probably started relaxing, and hopefully will be joining us shortly. If you have any questions about anything, no, not anything, any questions about live video, about Facebook, I'm just back, as most of you know, because I've been boring you to death all week. I'm just back from Facebook Gather in Dublin, which was an excellent 3-day event. First time I've been to Dublin, first time I've been to Ireland. A very warm welcome, and to actually drink Guinness in Dublin is quite something. So memorable moments there, and good business was done, and a lot of networking was done as well. And hints were dropped at something, but we weren't told something outright. So I'll give Bridgetti another minute to join, because I would like to break the news jointly. As we're actually live and it's showing us live, I can close that tab down, which might help things. Yeah, all good. And it is Friday, and waiting for Bridgetti so that we can actually talk about something which is just breaking, and it's going to make life very interesting. It's not going to happen straight away. Target date is 2020, and anybody with hindsight would know that. Sorry about that, couldn't resist. But yeah, and Corinda's saying, just to all right, okay, and Corinda's just said that to let everyone know, I would love this. Yes, okay. I'm having new shows in 2019 about self-defense and broadcasting. Well, I wish you every success with those, and it'd be good to actually see them, hopefully on BLIFbot TV, which is where I am at the moment. Patiently, I've got some news to tell you. I'm patiently waiting, and you'll probably find out what the news is before we actually calm down. It's Friday. We can all relax a little bit. Right, okay. Now, as you probably noticed, there is a new bot running today, and it's called the Autoresponderbot. And quite simply, it replies to your first comment. You comment, you make a comment, you'll get a personalized message from Autoresponderbot, and then we'll be able to carry on the conversation after the show in Facebook Messenger. So please comment, and it's the start of a conversation. It's a great way to start things. It's an opportunity for Bridgetti and I to say thank you to everybody who does watch our shows, and we'll be able to keep you up to date on what's happening in the BLIFbot world, what's happening in the Facebook world. In fact, if you join our newsletter, news list on Messenger, then you'll be kept well up to date. Bridgetti is saying she's almost back, so she's obviously watching on her phone. Corinda's saying yes, he's going to broadcast on Facebook and on Twitch. And could I mention, hang on to get the right one, can I mention the new history show, History Talk, which is on Twitch, Monday, 8 p.m. in the UK. So that's Francis Chamberlain, Cambridge historian, is on Twitch on Monday, 8 p.m. in the UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, and that means that it's midday on the Pacific coast. So if you want to find out all about what Fonz is going to be talking about in his history talk, and I can't think of anybody better qualified, then Fonz will be posting a link to his Twitch page in a moment, so we can all go and register after the show. And that's another reason for having messenger bots, and I'll come to that. If Bridgetti is saying hello, hello, all right. Are you able to come in at all, Bridgetti, or? And Corinda is going to watch Fonz, which is brilliant, and the reverse will probably happen too. If you want to join on camera, then type guest. I'm just going to do that now. Type guest to join me on camera. Okay, so that's put it up into the agenda. I can now display it on screen. So type guest, and you're more than welcome. 2 seats are spare. And Fonz has just posted a link to his Twitch channel. It's the same link, whatever show you do on Twitch. It's not a different link each time. You can go give people one link and say, I'm live at 8 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In Fonz's case, he's live on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. All right. And Corinda's laptop is still updating, and Bridgetti is giving a progress report and saying it is actually on Chrome now. I thought these Macs were fast. Right, stop that. We won't have a Mac versus Windows fight, because it's never going to change anybody's mind. If you like Mac, you're on Mac. If you like Windows, you're on Windows. Occasionally people do cross over, but it's a very rare occurrence. Okay, so where do we go from here? I'll take that off the screen. Hopefully today the titles are actually showing up at the bottom of the screen. If you can just confirm that, because I've had 2 shows since I came back where I've managed to lock a title on the screen. So hopefully the titles are actually coming on and off screen as I take them on and off screen. Still waiting for Bridgetti. Okay, but this is Bridgetti and Steven in discussion, and we welcome you to join us. And an update from Corinda. And Corinda is saying, one question with Autoresponderbot, is it for Facebook only or can it be used on Twitch? Right, okay. As I just give me a minute, Corinda. Just let me take that off for a moment. And hello, Bridgetti.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, and I'm glad that you've joined us. We just, Corinda and I think a Windows update is going on.
Oh
as well.
dear.
So computer problems all around. However, now that you're here, I can make the grand announcement for anybody who doesn't know. So I'm going to bring a graphic up on screen, and I'm going to go full screen with the graphic. And it has been announced that Facebook are going to merge Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. They're going to become one megalith of a program. And it means that people are on Messenger can talk to people on Instagram can talk to people on WhatsApp. And if there's anybody on WhatsApp, they can talk to people on Messenger and what's Instagram. So that's a mega change. And it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. I'll come back to the 3 of us, so we've still got that on screen. What's your?
I'd say it's interesting. From a live streaming perspective, to me that's kind of wow, because I think it could add an interesting dynamic, and I think it may give us the ability to bring more people more easily onto a live stream with that kind of integration. And I've always found that being able to connect with people on WhatsApp when it's coordinating with a guest was very, very easy and super, efficient. Because not everyone was always on Messenger, but I've always found that almost most of my guests are on WhatsApp. And if anything ever went wrong during a show, WhatsApp was my backup communication. So for me, that's a good move.
I mean, I reinstalled WhatsApp on Wednesday because I've left it alone for a couple of years. In fact, since 2017, because most people I know are on Messenger. But they did hint that something was happening with WhatsApp, so I installed it in order to make contact with somebody at Facebook. I think it depends how the integration goes, but in terms of Messenger bots, it could make a world of difference to be able to reach people on WhatsApp and Instagram, and to actually build a list, a Messenger list. Well, that would mean that you're actually crossing 3 different audiences. Because I think the audiences on Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger are different. They've got a core who are on all 3, but then you've got people who are Instagram only, people who are WhatsApp only, and people who are Messenger only. It's bringing everybody together.
Right.
So just to reiterate, Facebook are to merge Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger, and it will happen in 2020. Okay.
I guess it was not totally. It's not a completely unexpected move. I mean, they own the platform, so I guess the integration isn't a complete shock move. It may obviously make things easier for them instead of having to manage all the platforms independently.
That's true. I mean, there's commonality between them. I mean, 2 of them, all 3 of them have got a Messenger function in there. And by bringing them all together with one set of programming, that's going to make life easier. Instead of 3 separate programs, you've got one new program using the best bits from each system. But I think it's a challenge. I don't think they'd announce it unless they were well underway and actually alpha testing, if not beta testing, the system. So if anybody is testing the new system or knows how we can join in, then if you could let us know, because it's always good to be ahead of the curve. And Corinda's saying, I agree with Bridgetti, WhatsApp always a backup, and also ITTT, would it work then? Oh, right. Okay. The 3 programs we're talking about, Corinda, are actually owned by Facebook. ITTT is not Facebook, so it's difficult to know what would actually happen. And we say hello to Andy. And Andy, if you want to join us on screen, you're more welcome to do so. Just type it in guest, and Andy was on the show last week. So Andy's saying good morning to both of us, or good evening.
Good morning, Andy. Yes, it's good evening for me, but good morning to Andy.
And the message that's gone out in reply this week, just to bring it on screen, I'm going to hide us both for the moment, take that down off screen. Everybody gets a message from us, which says, hello Andy, thank you for watching us on Bridgetti and Steven Conversation today. We appreciate your comments and questions. If you have a question about live broadcasting, please ask Bridgetti and Steven, and it gives a link to join us on camera. So all of that is the work of, hang on, I'll get it right in a minute. All of that is the work of Autoresponderbot, which is a new messenger bot, which I've spoken to Facebook about, and I'm now organs blazing, actually going to get promoted and get it running. We have 2 autoresponder bots running today. If you're on the live video hub, say hello, and you'll get a link to actually join us on BLIFbot. So wherever you are, just type hello and see what happens. You'll get, wherever you are, a personal message. Because one of the problems we've had is actually when you put your show cross-posted to the Live Video Hub, if you don't put the link back to your original show, then nobody can find you.
So you've got to be careful with that.
Yeah. So now, on starting next week, any show that goes on Live Video Hub will have a bot attached to it, and that will then send them back to the original broadcast as soon as they comment. So in your show, you won't have to say, click the link above. You'll just say, please say hello, and we'll give you a link. And that is a lot easier. It's a problem taken care of. And I know that Cheryl at the beginning of the show spends 2 minutes telling everybody to click the link, and that goes out the window. That's not needed anymore. So exciting times. And Kelly's going to watch the replay. Kelly, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you later.
Bye, Kelly. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, and we say hello.
And I see Peter's. Is that Peter in the comments there?
It's Peter in the comments. He's been around telling his stories this week. All is good.
Oh, hi, Peter.
And he's got a message from our bot saying, hi, Peter. And Corinda spotted Gina watching us. Hello, Gina. Nice to see you. And yeah, if anybody wants to join on camera, you should already have the link to do so if you've made a comment. If you haven't got a link, then just type guest, and you can actually join us on the show. Okay.
I've had quite a busy day today.
Over to you.
I started, I have not been broadcasting consistently for a long time. I've been away for a couple of weeks, as most of you know. And today felt pretty much like I'm back in the swing, even though I'm not entirely there from a health perspective. But I had quite a full day. My first broadcast today was at 8 o'clock my time. I was interviewing Mina Gooley, who started the Running Dry campaign. It's a worldwide awareness campaign that she started to create awareness about water, and just to have conversations about water, to make the use of water, to make the availability of water famous and more talked about. And she started a campaign to run 100 marathons in 100 days. She was doing this, and then she had an injury. She literally broke her femur. I mean, I cannot even imagine the kind of pain she was in. And when she broke her femur, she shared that on social media, and people jumped on the bandwagon. And hi, Andy. People jumped on the bandwagon, and they decided that they will, when they run, they will clock their kilometers and donate their mileage to her. And before we knew it, this became a thing. And so now for Sunday, she's organizing a day where we'll do 100 marathons in one day. So I'm going to ask all of you, if you are a runner anyway, or if you're taking your dog for a run, could you join in the Running Dry campaign this Sunday? So it's this Sunday, the 27th of January. If you're going for a run or a jog or a walk, could you log how far you walk or run or jog? And show that. If you use a Fitbit or whatever it is you use, show how long you've walked or run for the day, and simply hashtag that with Running Dry, and we'll be able to track that. So that's a great fun thing to do. Please, can I ask you, if you run, if you jog, if you walk this Sunday, log your kilometers and hashtag it on Twitter with Running Dry. That will be so much appreciated for the water campaign. As you all know, it's something that I'm very passionate about. And then I also had a great interview with Dr. Anthony Turton this afternoon. That was my second time going live today, so this is the third time. So my previous show with Dr. Anthony Turton was the Water Forum, and there's a campaign going on in South Africa at the moment to get an independent water regulator. So if any of you are in a country where you already have a water regulator, we don't have one in South Africa. And so an organization, a non-profit called Water Shortage South Africa, and another non-profit called Outer, they have issued a joint statement lobbying for an independent water regulator. So as you know, I do broadcasts about the water crisis, and I'm now starting the Water Forum show. So if in your country you have a water regulator, can you connect with me? I'd like to know how that works in your country and how it benefits you. So today's my third time live.
Brilliant, brilliant. Good to be back broadcasting.
Thank you. And a lot of you have, I want to just mention this. A couple of you have asked in the BLIVers group. So if anybody is watching now, if you're new to BLive, if this is the first time you're watching, if you're interested in using BLive for broadcasting, go and join us in the group on Facebook called BLivers. We'll put the link in the comments. So join the BLivers group if you would like to use the BLive program. It's a community. In fact, it's a massive community. I think we're hurtling towards 9,000 strong, isn't it, Stephen?
We would have been, but Facebook.
Because we were.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I haven't checked that. How has that affected our figures? Maybe we should talk about that for a second.
All right. Okay. In terms of the BLivers group, about 140 members were put into a different list. I'll explain why. Facebook made a change last weekend, and they looked at all the groups, and for each group they said, who invited you and have you said anything yet? And if you were invited to a group and you've not commented, posted or commented, then you'll find that you've been removed from the group and you're in a list awaiting the admin of the group inviting you again. I dare say that if he invites you and you join and you don't comment, then you'll get yourself back in the list. But the idea is to remove people from groups who are not actually taking part in the groups. And it's, well, for some groups, we spoke to David earlier today, and he'd lost 250 members overnight. And he'd gone down from 1,000 to 750, and he was sort of wondering why. He heard rumors, but the thing is that Facebook have made changes. People have not been lost altogether, but they're no longer counted as members of your group. They're in a separate list. As admin, you've got control of that list, and you can decide whether to invite people back once only, or to actually just delete them because they show no interest in the group. So the choice is yours.
Yeah, so it's quite an interesting change, but I think that also gives you as admin of a group insight into the activity. And for BLivers, that was roughly just over 8,500 strong as a group, to only drop by 150, to me is actually great news. It's an indication of just how active the community is.
Well, that's right. It means 8,000.
Because in the grander scheme of things, for a community of 8,500 plus to only drop by 150 shows the level of activity and interest in the group.
Yeah,
so if you've dropped by a significant number, it literally means, for want of a better word, that the dead wood in the group has been dropped, and you now actually sit with a group of people that you know genuinely wants to be there and who is active in your group. I mean, would you rather have 10,000 people and 8,000 are not active? Whereas if you had a group of, say, 200 people even, but every single member was an engaged member and an active member in that group, wouldn't that group be more valuable to you than to simply say, I have got a group of 10,000, but 8,000 people never comment, are never active, they're never engaging, they never respond to what you say or do in the group, then your group is not engaged. So I think, to me, this is kind of a great thing for you to become more creative in the group, to become more active in the group, and to find out how you can be more engaging to the group, and check with people what is it that will interest them in getting them more engaged. So it's a conversation starter. It's a means of finding out how you can retain the people that are there, or ask them what is it that made you, why are you active in the group? What is it that you enjoy about the group? What can we bring to the table that will increase the level of engagement? So all round, I wouldn't say that it was a bad thing at all. I really think it's something that we should welcome, because if you have active numbers, it's a lot more meaningful than to have numbers just for the sake of numbers. That's my opinion.
I agree. And the other thing is that it stops people adding you to a group in its tracks. Because if you add it to a group and you don't do anything, then you will eventually disappear from the group. And that's got to be a good thing. And people should take note of that. Now, whilst on the topic of groups, when you join a group, the group admins have got the option to ask you 3 questions. Now, those 3 questions can be anything that the admin decides. Until now, when we've been adding people to BLIFbot, we've looked at the responses, and there haven't always been responses, but when there are, we've looked at them, and we said at the beginning it'd be actually impossible to actually keep track of who said what, because you've got to manually cut and paste everything. I discovered today there's a product called ClickFunnels, and it does exactly that. What happens is when a new member applies to be a member of a group and you approve them, it sends their answers into a Google spreadsheet so that you've got contact details for that particular person, and you've got the answers that they gave to the 3 questions permanently recorded in a Google spreadsheet, and you just have to set it, as Annie Moore would say, set it and forget it, and you've got a full contact list there. And if you were asking for, one of your questions was, could we have your email address, please? Then you're actually starting to build a list. As I say, the 3 questions are, you can actually decide what they're going to be. And if people answer them, then you can store those answers automatically. I'm told it's about $20 a month. So if you works for up to 5 different groups. So if you are in the, well, if you're actually building an email list and you're going to do it from group members, it's a very effective way of doing it. So that's just a thought. Okay.
It sounds like a great product, but I must tell you, it's a difficulty that I constantly have, with all these software options that we've got.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them offer fantastic functionalities, and the value is phenomenal. The one challenge I have here in South Africa, for example, is the exchange rate with the US dollar. The exchange rate is absolutely terrible. So somebody may say, well, it's only $10 or it's only $25 or $20. For me, all these $10, all these $20 or $25 things is actually a lot of money.
Right.
It really makes it unaffordable. So that is a challenge I find with things priced in the US dollar.
I totally understand, and hopefully, well, I don't know what's going to happen when we leave the EU on March 29th to our currency. So I'm wary of what's going to happen. I can empathise with the situation. I mean, if there were South African software houses developing software, then you would win. But most of the software
we absolutely would win, yeah. But unfortunately, most of the things that we use as live streamers is US dollar based, yeah.
Indeed. And just a comment from Andy earlier, which I didn't show on screen. He just wish he could join us, but he's multitasking. He's a man who multitasks. Now there's a rarity, and he's just listening on the phone. So thank you for listening, Andy. No problem. And Corinda said that he likes your background, Bridgetti. Is it real?
It's a green screen.
Right. Okay, so a closer look. Ah, okay, brilliant. It's very clear.
It's a green screen. So I think someone asked in BLIVers on 1 or 2 occasions about being able to use a green screen with BLive.
Yes.
So I've been doing that now for the past few days without a glitch. And I also want to mention, as you know, I've had a problem for about 2 or 3 weeks where I couldn't go live using talk show for some reason in BLive, and we couldn't get to the bottom of it. So now I can reveal what the issue was. It actually had nothing to do with BLive TV. The problem was with Chrome. So I was using a beta version of Google Chrome, and somehow something went wrong, and the cameras were not, my camera couldn't be seen when I opened up Google Chrome. It was a bit of a strange thing because when I went live solo in BLive, for some reason, it picked up my camera. But when I tried going live with Talk Show and to Twitch, I couldn't go live, and I was totally stumped. Couldn't find the answer. Tried different things, tried different cameras, rebooted my computer, did all the usual troubleshooting things, and just couldn't get to the bottom of it until I took a look at Chrome, deleted Chrome because I was using the beta version of Chrome. So for any of you, if you run into this problem, it seems that there is a issue with the beta version of Chrome. So I uninstalled the beta version of Chrome and reinstalled the latest version of Chrome, and voila, it's all working. And I'm back in Happy Land. So since that has happened, I have also then been able to test out using a green screen. So it means using a virtual camera. So there's various virtual cameras out there. Some work only on Mac, some work only on Windows, some work on both. So if a green screen is something that you want to use or is interested in, go and find a virtual camera that works for you. And having a virtual camera will enable you to do that. So the way that you would do this if you're wanting to use your virtual camera with BLive is open up Google Chrome and first see whether Chrome sees your virtual camera. If Chrome cannot see your virtual camera, it will not work in BLive. And the way that you can also run your tests to make sure that everything else is working is to use WebTRC. Just test your camera, your microphone, your sound, your internet speed with WebTRC, or WebRTC. Steven, help me out there. So check that and see whether Chrome recognizes your virtual camera. If Chrome is not seeing your virtual camera, then BLive won't see it either. So do that test, but if Chrome can pick it up, you are A for away and you can use your green screen. Go wild, find something that you love, and upscale your look and feel of your live stream by using a green screen. So that's what I'm doing. It works.
Right, it does work. It does work. Does it have any effect on your computer at all as far as the process is concerned?
Not at all.
Right. Okay, that's good news.
Not at all. I have particularly been monitoring that, and no, hasn't had any effect whatsoever.
Oh, it does work. It looks good, and you never know. I might adopt a different background in future. Though I can always change the photos around. That is a partial solution.
You could do that too.
Right. If you're watching us, you want to join us on camera, please do type guest, and you can come and join Bridgetti and I and have a chat. And just to reiterate what we said at the top of the show, by 2020, Facebook are going to merge Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger into one application and bring together the 3 audiences into one place. So if you're using all 3, then you probably won't have to do anything. If you're using two, well, I don't know. It's all speculation, but it does lead to interesting times and possible opportunities for bot makers. Because at the moment we've got bots on Messenger. We don't have bots yet on Instagram or WhatsApp, so it could open the world globally to Messenger bots, and Messenger bots are the future. Especially, I've got it here, the Autoresponderbot, which has been welcoming you to the show today and saying thank you for watching. The thing about that is that you can actually then use that to give out special offers as well. So anybody who comments gets a link to a special offer. So maybe we'll try that next week. Rather than an invite to come on the show, you get an invite to take a special offer. So all sorts of possibilities there. Right. Okay. What's next?
Oh, I want to ask you, do you, you know, this is something other people have asked about as well. I have my computer and I have an additional monitor. Do you use two monitors? No. Do you use only one? And how do you find? Do you have only just one screen? I just have one screen. Yeah, I've got my phone as well, but I've got a tablet, but I just have one screen. Yourself? I've actually got a bigger screen. My eyesight is not that great any longer. And I do find it nice to have a bigger screen, especially when it comes to reading comments. It is great for me to be able to, see the comments easier than to try and kind of like, Well, yeah, go down into the corner. And, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. So you're actually watching on two monitors at the moment, or? I actually have watched it on two. So the way things are for me right now, what I do is I have a monitor on my right hand and on my left hand, and my camera is positioned on a tripod dead center of the two monitors. Okay. Right. So I have an external camera. Yeah. Right. So you can glance to either side. I can. Yeah. I'm looking at the one monitor now, and now I'm looking at the other monitor, and now I'm looking at the camera. Right. And your camera is a Brio. My camera is a Brio. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that brings us up to date on the tech. Mine's still a C920, but the best thing I've done is to actually, because I don't, is to get the lighting sorted out. If I look at the show, makes a huge difference. A huge difference. You cannot, and I think a lot of the camera experts. We were having this conversation in the BLIFbot group the other day. Someone started the conversation on tech stuff, and so you don't need to go and get the best camera out there. You can make a huge difference if you can fix your lighting. And that's what you did, Stephen. You didn't get a new camera, you just changed your lighting. And it kind of like had that wow effect without you buying a new camera. That's very kind of you to say, as I go full screen to show my studio. Yeah, it has made a total difference, because at the moment, if I was to rely on natural light, it's 4 p.m. here, it's nearly 5 p.m. here, and obviously it would be dark. If I switch the room lights on, then they drop shadows all around the room. So I've got a softbox either side of me, and they're pointing at the wall in front of me. So they're not pointing at me, no light coming towards me. It's all reflected light. And there are fewer shadows, and they just get switched on 10 minutes before the show. They get switched off as soon as the show is finished, and they provide studio quality lighting. And we say hello to Gospel. Hi, Gospel. Nice to see you. We both said that. We echo that. There is a link to join us on camera, Gospel. It should be in a reply to your message. And if you want to join us for 10 minutes or so, then please do, to talk about your shows and everything that's happening down in Rochester. Right now, just a note about I Live Here, which is
normally on a Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Next week, because we have a guest who's actually, well, we have a guest, a very special guest joining the show at 10:30 Eastern. So we're starting the show an hour later next week, so that our guest can come in live and surprise us all for where he actually is. So we have a mystery guest joining us on I Live Here.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
It is. If it works, it's going to be brilliant. The show's dropping back an hour to 10 a.m. Eastern, and as I said, there'll be a special guest, a mystery guest, appearing halfway through. I'm looking forward to that, because it's always good when you can actually surprise people, and hopefully the technology will work and we'll be joined.
I know. I want to talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
It is, you know, I was thinking of going live in the BLIFers group to talk about this as well, because I often see people huffing and puffing when things don't work well, or when things go wrong.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, we all just need to learn to relax a little, to take a deep breath, and to realize and acknowledge that we don't run a TV studio. We don't run a full production house where we've got staff running around attending to different areas of the production. This is a one-man production, a one studio operation that we do as live streamers. And we can only do one thing at a time. And when something goes wrong, we have to fix it ourselves. We don't have a wingman that we can say, can you fix that for me while I talk to my guests while the show goes on? You know, you have to learn to wing it. And so this morning, I had my early morning show at 8 a.m. my time in South Africa. And my guest in Australia couldn't connect to me. This was on the for the Running Dry campaign. And things kind of went wrong at the last moment. And so the best that you can do is to learn not to panic. And this happens, I want to tell you what happened, because this is something that happens all the time. So for your guest to join you on BLive, they have to click on the link using the Google Chrome browser. And what very often happens is that not everyone out in the world loves the Chrome browser. That's the bottom line. That's the truth of it. Some people choose to use other browsers for various reasons. And so when you send them the link, even when you tell them or ask them and send them the instructions to use the Google Chrome browser, things can and will go wrong. They may click on it and they may think they're on the Google Chrome browser, but they're not. For example, if someone's using a MacBook and they use Safari natively or whatever else natively, they click on the link and they'll say to you, yes, I'm using Chrome, and I open it up and it still doesn't work. It can happen. It happens. It happened to me this morning. Take a deep breath, you know, put a picture on screen, let your audience know that you'll be back, that you've got a technical glitch, and then run with it. Help your guest to get it fixed, and then carry on with the show. It's not going to help you or your guest if you become upset about it, if you become stressed out about it, because you want the show to go on. You want your guest to feel calm and welcome. So keep your cool, stay calm, keep your guest calm, make your guest still feel that you're not going to give up even though things went wrong at the last minute. That is your best way forward, to keep calm. Don't panic. And when things are fixed, you can carry on with the show.
Totally. I'm just going to put that on the screen. We'll have that as our saying of the week. And the saying of the week is keep calm and carry on broadcasting. Totally. I mean, anything that goes wrong, you just got to go with the flow and pretend, well, give the appearance that everything's going fine. It's a bit like a swan. Okay, elegant to look at, a swan, but when it's on the pond, its little legs are webs are actually going backwards and forwards just to keep it moving. And it's sometimes like that when you're actually doing a show. And hopefully when the show goes out, what you actually see is a semi-professional version, and we don't get flustered, and we do keep calm and carry on broadcasting. I mean, as a show, I watched the replay this week, and the show was seamless, but the backstory is, well, it's just one of those things that happen. I suppose basically anything that can go wrong did. If you're going to have somebody produce your show, obviously they've got to become an editor of your page. As soon as they become an editor of your page, they log out of Facebook, log out of BLIFe, log back in. They've got the rights to broadcast to your page. That's step one. Then if you're going to give the show to a producer, you need to give them an agenda, because otherwise they don't know what's going on. I mean, when you're running the show, I can add things to the agenda, as I've been doing all the time. But when you're actually producing a show for somebody, it's good to know what's going to happen from the startup. And on the show this week, first of all, there was no agenda. Second, the host disappeared, and there were three co-hosts on the show. The host disappeared and couldn't come back. One of the co-hosts then disappeared, leaving one person on screen when there should have been three. And I've got to hand it to Anita that she kept the show just going, and Cheryl was producing the show in the background, and things ran smoothly. If you're watching the replay, you would notice people come and go off screen, but you wouldn't be worried about it because the show just moved forward. Both Cheryl and Anita went with the flow. So you always got to have a plan B, and that plan B is to have a few stories which you can tell while you actually get things sorted out. And if you're wary of being both on camera and a producer, then if you contact Cheryl, she's happy to produce your show for you. And as I've just said, she does a very good job.
So just on that topic, it's of having a producer, it does help, because it means you don't have to worry about the tech stuff. You can just focus on your content. But I want to reiterate what you said. You have to have a very good relationship between the producer of the show and the host of the show. You've got to be in sync with each other. You've got to know what's going to happen in the show. You've got to have the agenda. Make sure that you've got all the pictures and stuff that you need. So as a producer, you don't appear on screen. But here's a caveat. Because I've produced shows for people as well, where I don't appear on screen. So you could kind of, as a producer, because you're not supposed to appear on screen, don't produce a show in your pajamas for someone, because if something goes horribly pear-shaped and and for some reason, the talk show host can't appear on camera and the guest can't appear, these things don't happen as a rule, but life happens. That's my favorite saying. Life happens. Life can happen. So if it does happen, if things go horribly pear-shaped, you as the producer is going to be the backup person. So don't get caught in your PJs if you're producing. At least look decent, so that if you have to appear on camera as a backup plan, at least look presentable. I must tell you something. How are we doing for time? Oh, we've got 10 more minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
I have you ever watched Chitachi's shows? She's one of the ladies on Ladies Go Live. I forgot her name, her surname now. She's actually Dr. Tichati. I forgot her surname. Oh my goodness. Okay. And she runs a tech show. So what she does is she has a show producer, and her producer has never ever appeared on camera, on screen. So she's always full screen during her show.
Okay.
But I find her show incredibly interactive because she engages with her producer. They have a conversation with each other during the show.
Right.
But you never see him on screen.
Can you hear him?
Yes, you can hear him.
How does that work?
He doesn't appear on camera, but you can hear him. You can hear they can talk to each other during the show. And right, it somehow just makes it amazingly interactive, but she's the host and she's on full screen for the duration of the show.
Yeah, it reminds me of another show where this person appears voice only, but we'll not go there.
No.
Well, I suppose what you could do is you can actually come in and you can't even switch your camera off. Your camera's got to be working. So I'd be interested to find out if you can find out how she's doing that, because normally to be heard on the broadcast, you've got to be in the broadcast section. So
well, what you would do, I imagine, is all you would do is he would be in the broadcast section. Both of them would be in the broadcast section, but
right, okay, yeah.
She would be full screen.
Right.
And that's all you have to do.
Right. Another tip: if you're producing a show, you don't have to appear on camera. Without doing anything major, what you can actually do is you can make the broadcast smoother by simply switching off your camera and microphone and not appearing anywhere in the broadcast, either in the broadcast section or in the lobby section with your camera switched on. And that saves resources because it saves the broadcast of your picture out and back again, and also saves on your bandwidth. So if you're running low on bandwidth or you've got a CPU problem, then as producer, switch your camera off. When it comes back on, be fully dressed, but you could actually you could actually produce the show without having your camera switched on, which I've done several times. Because when you've got 4 people in the broadcast section and you've got 2 people in the lobby, and when we do the Talker Tuesday show, and we did the auditions, and in the auditions the show was in 2 halves. 4 people on screen the first half, 4 people on screen the second half, which meant that at some point you could have 4 on screen and 3 waiting to come on screen in the lobby. Now that's 7 video feeds, which affect your bandwidth. 8 with yourself, which affect your bandwidth and your processor. So switching your camera off can save a lot of hassle, especially as the producer of the show. Just an idea.
So Gospel's asking me there if I'm using a Chrome key background. Yes, I am. We spoke about that a little bit earlier, Gospel. I'm using a virtual camera. I'm actually, in this case, I'm using the eCam as my virtual camera. So yes, you absolutely can do it. And just to repeat what I said earlier, if you want to check that your virtual camera will work in BLIFe, you need to make sure that your virtual camera is seen by Chrome. So you have to go into your Chrome settings, make sure that Chrome can pick up your virtual camera, and then you're A for away. Easy peasy.
It is once you've done it. It's a bit daunting when you haven't. I'll take that off screen, hopefully. Right. It's the weekend. It's time to relax. No, do you have shows over the weekend? My first question.
I don't actually. I'm not averse to doing a show over the weekend.
Right.
So I'm not saying that I don't or won't do a show on the weekend. I do enjoy having the time to simply relax on the weekend, but I'm never averse to it. If I had an opportunity to do a show over the weekend, I'm quite happy to do so. So for this weekend, no, I don't have any shows planned for this weekend. And how about you, Steven?
I don't have any shows on Facebook, but because of the wonders of BLIFbot.tv, I'm going to do a Twitch-a-thon and just go live on Twitch. The problem has been, the problem has been that we had Christmas and the New Year. We then had 5 days live. Then I had Dublin. So I've not been broadcasting on Twitch because the shows on Facebook have got to go on. They're all scheduled Monday through Friday. So this weekend is my chance to go live on Twitch and get some hours in, and hopefully to meet some new people as well, and friends as well. You're all welcome.
Well, I want to do that as well.
Oh, right.
I want to try. Well, now that I've got things working, because I've been wanting to go live on Twitch, but I couldn't because of the Chrome thing. But now that I've got things working, I do want to try and go live every day, because I think you've got to be live. Is it 14 days consecutively or 30 days?
You've got to be live. You've got to be live for. Let's just check while we're talking. You've got to be live for, I think it's 12 days. Let's just check. Going over to Twitch and going over to. Oh
dear, Corinda's just said that his laptop is gone. Oh no, Corinda, has it? Are you on Windows? That's eek. Sorry to hear that. It's right, never great news.
Corinda,
when one's laptop fails, never great news. Never.
But it's a relatively new laptop.
Oh dear. Oh my goodness. 14 days. Oh, 14 days. So Corinda's got the answer there. It says 14 days.
All right. Okay. Corinda, if you're watching on the laptop, well, you can't be watching on a laptop, can you? Because it's not working.
He's probably watching on his iPad.
Yeah. Or on television. We could be on television, Bridgetti. If you switch the laptop off and switch it back on again, hopefully it will reboot. If there's an update going on, then it should continue where it left off. But with a relatively new laptop, certainly less than 12 months old, you shouldn't have any problems. Fingers crossed, Corinda, that when you do.
No, I imagine not. I mean, wow, if it's, that's still pretty new.
It is. And just let me go. Achievements. Okay. Path to affiliate. Right. Reach 50 followers within any. Right. Reach 50 followers. Stream for 8 hours. Stream on 7 different days with an average of 3 viewers. So that's affiliate. And so stream for
7 days.
7 days, 8 hours.
Okay.
And then an average of 3 people watching. And it's the average of 3 people watching, which is the most, well, for me, was the most difficult one. And what I did was when I was getting close, when I got the 50 followers and I'd got the hours in, was I put together a Facebook Messenger group and then said, I'm going live, join me. And did that for a couple of days. And basically by doing that, I got enough people to come over to Twitch to actually get over the average of 3 hours. So that's how I did it.
That's a clever way of doing it.
So invite everybody you know to join a messenger group and then say, right, I'm going live on Twitch. Will you join me? And that's one way of doing it. All right. Okay. Now then, we've come up to the hour. Again, it's just flown by.
I know. Wow, time has gone very quickly.
Right. Do we have any?
And without much of an agenda.
Well, true. I didn't have an agenda. We've talked about, just as a reminder, I talked about running dry. And is there a link to people search for that link? They'll find information.
Yes, if you look for the hashtag running dry on Twitter, and you'll find a whole bunch of stuff there. So if you're running on Sunday, just log your kilometers with the hashtag running dry, and that's it.
Brilliant. And Bridgetti encouraged everybody to join BLIFers. And then I talked about ClickFunnels. If you want to have information on new guests about the questions they answer when they join your group, then having ClickFunnel in your toolkit will get the information. It puts all the information they enter into a Google spreadsheet so you can use it later. And we decided that the best way to broadcast is to keep calm and carry on broadcasting. So all of those came about during the course of the show. Bridgetti, it's over to you.
I want to say a huge, big thank you to everyone who has joined us today. Corinda, thank you. Gospel joined us today. Who else was there? Andy joined us for a few moments. Peter joined us. Who else was there? Kelly. Kelly joined us right in the beginning. Yes. So a huge big shout out to all of you. Fonz was there. And we talked about your show with Fonz being at a different time this week because it's got a mystery guest. It's going to be an hour later, correct?
It is. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Yep.
Wanted to remember that quickly. So thank you, everyone. It was great spending some time with you. Thank you for spending, if you could spend just a few minutes with us, that's always fantastic and always appreciated. If you enjoyed the show, enjoyed the value that we shared, please go on and share the broadcast. If you are watching the show on the replay, please hashtag it with replay so that we know that you've caught us on the replay. Say hello, tell us where in the world you're watching from. We always love to hear from you and let us know what you're up to, what you're doing. And if you've got a topic for us that you'd like us to talk about in terms of live streaming or be live, let us know that in the comments as well so that we can put it on an agenda. It doesn't have to be next week. It could be in the following weeks. We're always happy to talk about stuff. And if you want to be a guest on the show to talk a little bit about what it is that you do, then also let us know so we can put you on the list and have you as a guest on the show. Always happy to plan that. Always love having guests. And so with that, I want to say thank you to everyone. Have a great week. Stephen and I will see you back again same time next week, which will be 4 p.m. UK.
Yep.
That's GMT time. 11 Eastern, and it is 6 p.m. GMT +2, where I am in South Africa. Andy, fantastic. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend, everyone. So from me, Bridgetti in Cape Town, it's goodbye for now. Thanks for joining us.
And from me, Stephen in Wiltshire in England, have a great weekend. We'll see you all in a week's time. Take care. Bye for now.